Welcome to Photo Op, the AI podcast where we talk about all things photo and video. I am your host, Ben Lucas.
And I'm a human, Stuart Merlantis.
Oh, dang. I was doing a bit, Stuart. I was doing a bit. No, welcome to the Photo Op. We talk about all things photo and video. But AI is increasingly becoming a part of that conversation, much to my annoyment and chagrin.
Yeah. And we tried replacing Ben with an AI for a few seconds, but it just didn't hold up.
No, it got stupider and stupider the more that it kept going, which is actually one of our stories today. So
Yeah.
we'll get to that in a minute. So today we're talking about This Week in AI Garbage.
Yes.
I wish we had a really cool sound effects like Stephen Colbert's Cyborgasm, but
We should look into that.
we don't have the budget for that. Speaking of which, if you want to help us go, oh yeah, some robots. No, that sounded wrong. I'm going to cut that. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it in. If you want to help us out, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/nomcreative. $1 tip jar helps us keep the mics on and bringing you new content every week.
Help us pay for AI sound effects.
Yes, let's go. Okay, so we do have a listener question leading into today's episode because it is also AI related. So this week's question comes from Tony. Thank you, Tony. I noticed a local photographer posted a Mid-Journey generated image and said it was a cityscape photo that he took a few years ago. Tony did send me this image, and you can tell that there's a billboard that looks like it's written in like Star Wars airbrush because it is a hot mess.
Yeah, I looked at it too.
Instantly recognizable as AI. No question. I've seen enough AI images to recognize one when I see it. Yeah, absolutely.
They don't do text.
No. There's a distinct smoothness across the image. The color tones has uncanny valley level of game rendering realism. And there's text that's noticeably jumbled. All things very characteristic of Mid-Journey. It kind of chafes to see a photographer claiming an AI image as an actual photo they took. The ethical dilemma becomes, do I call them out? Only if you like arguing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, how much do you want to fight on the internet?
Pretty much. They have a huge social media following. I don't. I feel like whatever I say will be drowned out in the buzzy praise that everyone else gives the image, and I doubt I have any clout to get them to correctly attribute the image as AI. Thank you so much for the question, Tony. And actually, I did reach out to Tony before recording this episode, and we talked about it a little bit, and he said that he tried to be as nice as possible. It's just like, hey, it's a beautiful image, but like credit where credit's due. I know this was made in Mid-Journey, and the photographer deleted the post.
Ooh, so you were successful. I didn't know that.
Apparently, Tony was not the only one.
Nice. All right.
People recognize BS when they see it.
Well, I mean, that is an argument for calling it out. It's like if everybody's like, nah, I'm not going to call it out, then nobody calls it out, and then nothing happens. But
one person calls it out, and then everyone else will be like, yeah, what this guy said.
Yeah. You might be the first domino in a cascade of like pointing out something like this. But also, like, people who praise this, like, did you not look at the image? Like, I looked at it and I was like, immediate text.
So we talked about what things will get you to argue with someone on the internet. I'm gonna add that to my list. If I see someone claiming an AI image as not AI art that they made, but a genuine photo they took, no.
And they were sneaky about it too. They're like, oh, this was from several years ago or a few years ago or something like that. I'm like,
yeah, it was just very weird and nondescript.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you say, like, the city was obviously unrecognizable because it's totally AI stuff? Like, if it was a real image, you'd say, oh, even if it was a few years old, you'd say, oh, I took this in 2020 and this is Singapore or whatever, right? But it was all very hand wavy. Oh, it's cool. Shooting at night in the rain can be cool. Yeah. No shit. Like, everybody knows that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yes. I guess, like, prepare yourself for a fight, but if you're willing, I would say the best way to handle this, at least from my perspective, is call it out and then walk away. Just like mute, ignore, leave the comments alone.
Social media makes it much harder to walk away because they insist on notifying you even if you don't want notifications.
You can mute chains though on at least some platforms.
Yeah. So,
Be the domino.
Be the domino. Call it out when you see it. So, the rest of this episode today, we have 6 different articles, different headlines this week in AI garbage. Just, we had actually 8 different articles lined up for AI, and Stuart and I looked at this list. I'm like, I can't do it, man. No, I'm not talking about this for the next 3 months. Get me out of this.
All in one shot.
So we're just bringing you a significant amount of AI and heavy drinking all in one episode. Cheers.
First story is a funny one. So I don't know why people think this was a good idea, but AI is losing its mind by being trained on AI-generated data.
So this is hilarious. Okay. So what is happening is AI doesn't want to have its signature saying that it's AI, right? They just want to be out in the world and they want to try and trick you. So you're even getting news journalism that is factually inaccurate because it was written by an AI and an editor didn't look at it before they clicked publish. So what happens is AI goes out into the world, but then AI is scraping the internet to learn on itself. And some researchers went, wait a second. If AI is going out there and it's not being trained what is AI versus what is not, and it's thinking all is real, what will happen if AI trains itself on AI?
Not good things, apparently.
It's essentially the equivalent of inbreeding. It gets so stupid. After 5 generations, it's completely unrecognizable to a human as like an actual image. Like,
It's all these weird like artifacts in the
so
skin.
these are specifically like images, but it was giving people like split snake lips, and it was putting like cross hatching like on their skin, like they were made of like a fence grate or something. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's really. You just wonder what is happening in that? What is? I want to know.
It is. Oh man, it is so strange. So
to be fair, they actually this is from Rice University. They actually published a paper on like what is happening. I don't understand the particular details of it, but full disclosure, you can go out and find this.
You can go find this, and this is like an actual published scientific journal study. So it's not just some BS of one dude. Like this is an actual research. So that's cool.
But that brings up an interesting question to me, which is like if AI information feeding into itself generates like weird garbage, to use our title, then stuff that AI is generating is not truly like unique, not truly. It's just like what is the point? I guess. Well, I shouldn't say what is the point.
Here's something
but like,
that's interesting. There was a big financial company that used an AI to write a lot of its blog posts, and it said that some stock out there was doing XYZ, but it was off by about 2 decimal points, and people were like, "Oh my god, it's going crazy! We should buy." And then when they realized that the AI was wrong, the stock tanked. So that's cool.
Should we be trusting this yet? If it can't generate truly like accurate and unique output,
no,
is this worth it yet?
We should not be trusting it. This is ridiculous.
I just feel like this is another like beta test on the general public, and it's not
going well.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not going well.
I don't know. It's funny though.
It is quite hilarious. Story number 2 though. Artists are losing the battle against AI. We know this.
Yeah,
we complain about this all the time. However, there's a tool out that is a way to trick the algorithms, giving us a fighting chance, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is from this is a tool called Glaze, which is basically from University of Chicago. They've built a new tool that essentially cloaks an image in trick data that when it is ingested by an AI program will mess with the AI program and not let it use that image in generation. It's essentially how that works in very, very basic terms. And so artists can actually download this tool and put their images through it, and then they'll be protected theoretically from training data sets in the future.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you can protect your images from being trained on data, which is neat.
Now, the real question though is, will somebody update the AI to figure this out?
Probably. That's the ongoing battle. I'm gonna skip around because we have another related article here.
I will say really quick before we move on from this one, they do mention a website that I actually saw before this article, but I want to mention it again because they call it out, is haveibeentrained.com, and you can actually check. Related tool, you can check and see if any of your imagery has been used in an AI model.
Trained.com. Ooh, enter text or upload. You know what? We're gonna do this live right now. My most stolen image. Let's go to my most stolen image is actually on the wall behind me. This might take a minute, so we'll cut for podcast. Okay. So I just uploaded my most stolen image. I took this way back when, and it is since a top contender for Chinese and Ukrainian romance novels, which annoys me, and there's nothing I can legally do about it because those aren't countries that U.S. law applies to. The top result has a 97% similarity with the searched image. I don't know what to do about that.
It means you've likely been trained.
I think I've been trained.
Uh-oh. Can you do anything about it, though?
Whoops.
No. I guess you could use glaze to
actually
hide it.
one of the images.
But it's too late now.
One of the images I see on this list, though, I know for a fact is a real photographer because it's actually the photo that I saw over a decade ago that inspired the image that I took.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
So I know at least one of these is real. They're all looking decently real, but
so maybe not.
But it also means that the rest of these have also been trained, and this is part of the same algorithm as all these others. So,
and to be clear, like this tool, it doesn't really promise perfection. The AI imagery or AI space in general is an arms race, and
they mentioned that about this.
They mentioned that in this article that even if you have tools like Glaze that may be effective now, tomorrow they may not be. So something to keep in mind. Like definitely,
like YouTube video downloader. YouTube blocks it,
yeah,
and then they make a new one.
And then they make a new one.
YouTube blocks it, and then they make a new one. This is just going to go on forever. Exactly. This is our life now.
Yep. Welcome to the AI fight.
Next article, very similar. MIT came out with a new program called PhotoGuard that protects your images from malicious AI edits. Now, PhotoGuard is different than Glaze. Glaze protects your images from being trained by AI scraping data. PhotoGuard specifically kind of puts the same digital thumbprint on that image, but it makes it so that so in the image that they have here, they have Trevor Noah standing next to somebody in the image, and what happened is the AI essentially tried to do something, but their faces got selected, and PhotoGuard means that their faces cannot be changed. So their faces are there and smiling, and the rest of the image kind of, the background could be changed, other things could be changed, but it's like, no, their faces are their faces.
Yep. Yeah, and this one is pretty invisible. Like if you look at the actual image that has been guarded, you don't really see anything off. With Glaze, it introduces this junk data, which kind of shows up as sort of digital noise artifacting. So you still get the idea, but it definitely hurts the visual quality of the image. Whereas this is
pretty invisible.
A lot more invisible. Yeah, you don't really see, at least at first, at a cursory glance, you don't really see it like you do with Glaze.
So I definitely know that there's another thing that Adobe had almost a decade ago, which is called a digital copyright, and it changes a few random pixels in your image, and then now you know that it's basically what websites like Pixie use to see, like, is this your image, to check if your image got stolen, which is how I know that my image is a top contender for romance novels, because I used Pixie, and it's like, hey, here are the thousands of instances of your images being used on the internet. None of them are in countries we can do lawsuits in. I'm like, cool, thanks.
Speaking of Adobe, though, that's our next story. Adobe staff are worried that their AI could kill the jobs of their own customers.
Oh no, who could have seen this coming? Bum bum ba-dum, boom.
Which would be darkly humorous, in my opinion, because they lose their jobs, and then they can't afford to buy Adobe software.
We're gonna stop. Yeah, exactly.
So Adobe's profits go down because of their own AI tools. That would be...
Congratulations.
I mean, that would suck for everybody, but also would be slightly funny.
This is a real... From the article, this is a very real conversation at Adobe, as many are concerned that the company is in danger of cannibalizing their own income. Well, then stop putting us out of jobs.
Yeah.
Ta-da! Next story.
That being said, good on the Adobe employees who actually spoke up internally and were like...
Absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely.
Yeah, like
the rest of the internet has been saying this.
I mean, corporations are ultimately made up of people, and like if you want your corporation to have a principled moral stance, like
you need to have principled moral people in your company.
So like thumbs up to these people. Like genuinely, that's not sarcasm. Yeah.
So another story coming from an MIT grad. An Asian MIT graduate asked AI to make her photo look more professional. And
guess what happened?
I'm going to give you a second. Type in the comments what you think happened. Maybe she got a nice blazer, a tie. Maybe her bedroom turned into like a big skyscrapered windowed office.
Corner office.
Nah, AI made her white.
It actually really didn't change much about the image at all other than that.
It literally kept her in her MIT t-shirt, and it kept her bedroom the same.
And her like messy
and
background,
it gave her blue eyes and white skin.
Yeah.
So AI do better.
It actually made her hair look worse, even like less professional. Her hair is messier.
Her hair is a hot mess. White lady's hair, when it was a very nice straight hair that she had before. So yeah, and when I say AI do better, I'm not talking to the robots. I'm talking about the people behind AI do better. This is the same thing that like facial recognition has more issues on people of color than it does on white people. Because guess who trained the software? White people. White people developed the software. Guess who they trained the facial recognition to recognize? White people. So inherent bias and racism. Yeah.
Apparently it was from a program called Playground AI. So maybe one to avoid. But also, just saying, like, why are you uploading a crappy picture in your room and using AI to make it a professional LinkedIn photo? Like,
no. She was this was a experiment.
Yeah.
So she was experimenting with AI portrait generators, and in one of her attempts, she got a very surprising result to her AI prompt.
Okay.
And then she uploaded it, and that's why it's making the rounds.
Because I was gonna say like hire a photographer just to
I mean, there's that, but no, she's intentionally trying to train and research how these AI prompts turn out. And
if you are intending to do this,
horribly surprised by,
please just hire a photographer instead of trying this.
Yeah, I mean, just shoot me an email. All the info's on the thing. I'll do your photo. And
the last one, this one was also kind of darkly funny. A real photo was disqualified from a photography contest for being AI.
So this photo is actually hilarious. If you look at it, you could look at it and be like, yeah, there's some real uncanny valley happening.
Yeah,
but here's what happened. I believe it was Gucci, I think. Yeah, I'm right. It was Gucci. So the woman who took this photo, her son's very smartly dressed, looks great, and Gucci was doing this kind of like interactive display with mannequins wearing suits. So the uncanny valley is because those aren't real people; those are stored display mannequins. So the son was kind of like holding their hand, and they're kind of like in this like bathroom setup that's kind of made to look like a Wes
funky
Anderson
colors,
type thing. And they're like, yeah, this is definitely AI because those people are super weird, except it was a real photo she shot on her cell phone, and she had the original with the metadata and everything to prove it. So
I don't know if I would be like flattered or
I would be mad, honestly.
Yeah,
because
she didn't get anything out of it, by the way.
No. They said that that they had already chosen a winner, therefore she was disqualified and could not win. But they said that instead of being banned, she's like, well, you get a free entry fee next year if you want.
Yeah. Also, they really tried to spin this hard. Oh, it was a great play on what is real. Is what the what the store not Gucci, but what the store running the contest said. Like, you just got called out. Like, just own up, just admit it. Don't like pretend like this was all part of the plan.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of memes that we used to send each other in college of like, I can tell it's fake. I saw the pixels.
Yeah. It's just so and that's the thing is like, if you run one of these contests, there is the way forward right there. Like, ask for the
There
original
is-
photo.
There is bound
ask
to
for the
be
excess
some
EXIF
kind of-
data.
Yeah, there's bound
Yeah.
to be some kind of AI cheating for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So just ask for that out of the gate instead of being like, oh, I can tell. The sad thing is nowadays you can't tell. Like, some AI imagery stuff is really good. And we just had another model release like 2 days ago, widely, SDXL, that is just like incredibly good. Like, it is another leap forward. It's a stable diffusion, the new stable diffusion model. And like, this stuff is getting really hard to tell. If you're running a contest, you can't tell by just looking at it. Just ask for the EXIF data, ask for the RAWs, ask for whatever preferred method you want to do so that we can avoid this kind of stuff. Because honestly, the image is kind of cool. Like, I can dig it. I think it's kind I like that Wes Anderson kind of style.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's interesting. I think the posing of the mannequins to make them look like they're realistically interacting with the environment despite being mannequins. Like, I
And
can
the sun
dig it.
even made his face and his hands
Yeah,
look
look kind of like a mannequin. Like, I think genuinely this is a fun, unique, interesting photo. I like it. Like, full stop. And it is a bummer that you lose a contest with such an interesting photo because the judges were lazy.
Yeah. So that's a fun little roundup for you this week. Just
Fun times.
Fun times. You know what we should do, Stuart?
What should
All
we
this AI is bumming me out.
It is.
So let's turn this around.
Mm-hmm.
I think next time let's talk about what are some good things AI has done? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just kidding. Tune in next time to find out.
From haters to appreciators.
Nah, I still kind of hate it, but it can be genuinely useful.
Yeah, tune in next time. We'll see if we can scare up any good uses of AI.
If you have questions or ideas for future episodes, you can email us at hello@photo-op.show.
Watch us on Ben's YouTube channel at NomCreative.
As in om nom nom.
Share this with a friend, and you can listen to Photo Op anywhere podcasts are sold.
Or download it. 'Cause it's free.